I'm going to go through a list of the 11 things that I love about living in South Korea. I've been here for about a little over 8 months, and there are some things that I've grown to love, and this is the list of things that I particularly like about living here. Number 1, public transportation in South Korea is awesome. It's really efficient and it's easy to get around. I've gotten lost maybe a few times on the subway. The Seoul subway system is the best. And I honestly don't know how I would get around without navigating the subway. Luckily, there is an app that you can download to your phone. And I'm going to show you the app that I use to get around Seoul. Honestly, without this app, I would probably get lost. So if you are coming to Korea, I definitely recommend downloading this Seoul subway app. And it shows you basically a map of all the stops, and it will tell you, you can put in where you're going and where you're coming from. So you can enter in departing from and arriving to, and it will give you the time, how much it costs, when the next train is, and it's just really easy to navigate. So the Seoul subway system, I love it. The buses are also well connected. So I do love the fact that I can just use public transportation to get everywhere. Although those bus rides do take a toll on you after a while, but it's nice that there's always a way to get somewhere, whether by bus, train, or bullet train. And it's just really easy to get around using public transportation, so that is definitely a plus. Okay, number 2 would be safety. I feel very safe living in South Korea, and that is probably one of the best things about living here, is you don't constantly have to watch your back. I mean, it's good to watch your back no matter where you are, but the crime rate is pretty low here. I don't feel like I have to watch over my shoulder when I'm walking home or walking at night. It's generally really safe, and I don't have to worry about like pickpocketing or someone like petty theft that usually happens like in bigger cities in Europe or even in the US. I never have to be concerned about that. I've even seen, there's been numerous occasions where I've seen people like with unzipped bags or unbuttoned bags, or they drop one of their belongings, whether it be a purse or a wallet, and somebody will almost 9 out of 10 times always pick it up and give it to the person instead of stealing it. So that definitely gives me reassurance, and it's nice to live somewhere where you don't feel like you constantly have to watch yourself and your belongings for fear of crime or theft. So generally I feel pretty safe, and that's crazy because I live very close to the DMZ, the border of North Korea, but I feel extremely safe here, and it's one of the best things about living in Korea. Number 3, Korean Post. The Korean Postal Service is awesome as well. I've received numerous packages, care packages from my family and friends back home, and it generally takes about 7 to 10 days, at most maybe 2 weeks to get a package, and the Korean Post is pretty good about sending the package exactly where the address that I gave to my family and friends. And usually, just a tip, I usually provide the address written in English and then also written in Korean, in Hangul, just to ensure that maybe if the mailman doesn't read English, he at least has Korean to read. And all my packages, for the most part, have gotten to me from my friends and family back home. And also, I have sent packages from here to my friends and family back home, and they have received those pretty quickly as well, like within a matter of 10 days. It's not very cheap sending packages back and forth, but it's just good to know that the packages get there when they're supposed to and that nothing is getting lost. So the Korean Post is awesome. Number 4, sharing culture. I love the fact that Koreans share everything. A good example of this is like at work, for example. I'll be sitting, and almost 4 out of 5 days somebody comes, somebody is in my co-workers, the office ladies, they always share their snacks and their food. They're always coming around my desk giving me treats. It could be like a Korean donut or coffee or tea. There's just always this culture of sharing, and especially also when you eat. Everyone shares food together. It's not like individual entrees. And some people may think that's kind of gross, but it's kind of part of not just Korean culture, but Asian culture to share food and drinks. And I was kind of I'm still kind of a germaphobe, but it's nice to have that feeling of togetherness, no matter where you are or who you're with. It's just everybody shares, and that's a great philosophy that I think is awesome, and I wish that more that was more ingrained in American culture. But number 5, Banchan is Korean side dishes, and we share Korean side dishes whenever we go eat as well. I love banchan because there's so many different kinds, and most of the time I almost like the banchan more than the actual main entree. And there are so many. I've tried so many side dishes and I love almost all of them. Almost all of them. There's actually this restaurant in Seoul that serves only side dishes, and it's an unlimited amount, and they give you an intro to every single side dish or banchan dish that you normally would see accompany a meal at a restaurant or at school lunches, or whenever you go out to eat at someone's house. So banchan is awesome, and I love the variety. Number 6, cheap alcohol. It is pretty freaking cheap to get a good buzz going or just to buy alcohol in Korea. I think on Halloween night was the last time I was pretty happy that day or that night, and I was out with like 10 or 15 people I knew, and I went to a bar in Seoul and I decided to get everyone tequila shots, and it was maybe 10 shots for less than $30 or $40. And to me, that's pretty freaking cheap, because usually if I were to order that back home, then it would have easily been $100 or more. So alcohol is cheap at bars generally, and also you can always buy drinks at the convenience store, and that is cheap as well. There are no open container laws in Korea, which is awesome. You can literally walk around with alcohol in your hand and drink publicly, and nobody will say anything. Given this probably wouldn't go as well in the States. I know there's some cities in the States where there are no open container laws, but in Korea, you're free to drink in the streets. Generally what we do is we go to a convenience store, the CU or GS25 or a mini stop, and we pick up soju or beer, and you can just buy it and drink it right after you buy it and walk around with it in your hand. Of course, you probably couldn't take it into a club or a bar, but it's just nice that you can drink and pregame and do all that stuff when you're out and about, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. So if you're looking for a good time in Korea that involves alcohol, it's good to know that it won't break your wallet as long as you have some limitations. So it's good. Doesn't cost me. I don't break my bank whenever I drink. Number 8, jjimjilbangs, or Korean saunas, spas. I love them. I've been maybe 2 or 3 times this year, and I plan to go again, but they have these saunas these Korean bathhouses, and they have saunas, different saunas made up of different rocks and temperatures, and I've been to one in Atlanta as well called Jeju. It's very similar, almost the same thing, but here it's cheaper, and you pay about 8 or 10,000 won to get inside, and then once you get inside you can choose to get a body scrub where they scrub your body and get all the dead skin off. You can have a milk bath, a cucumber face wrap, and all of that for maybe like 40 to 60,000 won, and you can spend an unlimited amount of time in those places. Generally, I've never spent more than 6 or 7 hours. And I actually have slept at a jjimjilbang as well, because there was one time that I was stuck in Seoul, and long story, but I slept there in the saunas, and it was actually really comfortable and really cheap. So yeah, the idea of a jjimjilbang Korean bathhouse, getting naked, getting clean, it's actually a great thing, and I love that about being here. The vast options that you have of getting clean and treating yourself to a day of body scrubbing. And then afterwards you just feel squeaky clean. Number 9, standalone cosmetic stores. Many of you don't know, or if you do, I am a licensed cosmetologist back home. So when I came to Korea, I knew that they have a huge cosmetics, skincare, and makeup industry here. I mean, it is huge. It is way bigger than the States. They have a whole bunch of standalone stores, and what I mean by standalone stores is like different brands, and the store, it just sells that brand. So for instance, Tony Moly, Innisfree, Etude House, Too Cool for School. There's just so many stores, and I love going in there playing with the products, and whenever I do buy something, they give me a ton of samples, so that's always awesome. I love testing out the products and just trying and comparing things, and most of the stuff that I bought for my skin I actually am loving because it's really gentle, and I've been playing with a lot of different things here in Korea with cosmetics and whatnot, but mainly skincare stuff is what I'm into because I still have a whole bunch of makeup from back home, but it's really fun to see what they have here because a lot of the things that they do have are not available in the States. So it's fun to go in and play. Just imagine having like a Sephora store like on every corner, but each store carries something different. It's so fun for girls or women that, or men or whoever, just to get in there and play around. Like you go in there and you rub every lotion they have or try on different colors, and it's just like a candy store for me. So I love Korean cosmetic stores. Number 10, Market Day. I live in a very small town called Sincheon, and I think on the 3rd and 5th of every month, I can't remember if it's on any date that falls with a 3 or an 8, I believe. So every like 5 days or so, the locals will come out and sell their produce in the streets downtown where I live. And I live in a really small town, but it's really nice because it supports the local community, and they always have something different. I don't always buy something, but I do try to wait for market day to buy like produce because it is a little cheaper, and it's just nice to walk around and shop and kind of get to know the community. And there's also a chicken man that comes every now and then, but he's been ripping me off with his chicken truck that he basically sells rotisserie chicken on the back of his truck, and it's pretty awesome, but I felt like the last couple times he kind of ripped me off, so I haven't been supporting him. But he was good for a while. And there's also some other people selling like Korean desserts and treats and sweet breads and like meats on sticks and whatnot, and it's just really fun to walk around and kind of see what they're selling every market day. Number 11. I am actually not really into Korean pop culture that much, but one thing that I have grown to love a little bit, it's like I don't know why I'm kind of having a hard time admitting this, just because I'm not really into a lot of Korean like dramas and K-pop and all that. But I do have to say that I am starting to love Korean rap music, which I listen to rap heavily in general back home because I'm from Atlanta, and there's just a lot of rappers that come out of Atlanta. So I've always been a huge rap music follower. And since being here in Korea, I actually discovered this female rapper, and her name is CL. And she's a Korean female rapper, and I started listening to her like really heavily because I went to a music festival, and she is playing, she does a lot of performances and music with two of my favorite DJs, Diplo and Skrillex. So I have been listening to her, and then some other random artists that I haven't really followed a lot of them, but I do have a few Korean songs, Korean rap songs that I listen to, and I just love like the style, and it's just badass. So that sums it up, guys. That's the 11 things that I love about living in South Korea. I hope this video was helpful or interesting to you somehow. Please subscribe and look out for more videos. See you guys.
CL. Hold up. You with the presence of a queen. Turn up. All the pretty bitches love me. I need mouth full of gold with them berry curls.